Hi everyone, welcome to Dom's Guitar Channel. I'm Dominic Mastrangelo. In this video, I'm going to go over two sequences that are my favorites to teach people early on when they start to learn scales. I'm going to start with the A minor pentatonic scale. It's a very common beginner scale, no sharps, no flats. It's relative to the key of C major. It usually looks like this on fret 5 when it doesn't fall on the floor. A, C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, A, C. A sequence is when you play a note, and then you play another note, and then you do whatever the next number in the sequence is. So if the sequence I teach you first is just 1, 2, 1, it means from every note in this picture, you start on the first note, you play A, you go to C, you go back to A. Then the C becomes your first note. So you do C to D, back to C. 1, 2, 1. D to E to D. Then E becomes number 1 to G is 2, back to E is 1. Then G, G, A, G, etc. A, C, A, C, D, C, D, E, D, E, G, E, G, A, G, A, C, A. Then you do it backwards. C, A, C, A, G, A, etc. So if you don't have a picture of this, take a picture right now so that you know what we're doing. We're at fret 5, A minor pentatonic. We're playing sequence 1, 2, 1. A, C, A, C, D, C, D, E, D, E, G, E, G, A, G, A, C, A, C, D, C, D, E, D, E, G, E, G, A, G, A, C, E. Backwards, you start on C. C, A, C, A, G, A, G, E, G, E, D, E, D, C, D, C, A, C, A, G, A, G, E, G, E, D, E, D, C, D, C, A, C. A little quicker, it'll sound like. The other sequence that I like to teach after that one is literally the reverse of it. It's called sequence 2, 1, 2. So from the same picture, instead of starting here, you're starting on the second note of the scale. You play the second note, back to the first note, and then the second note. Then you play the next note as the second note, first note, second note, second note, first note, second note. So you're always going ahead and moving backwards. Second note, first note, second note. A, G, A, C, A, C, D, C, D, E, D, E, G, E, G. A, G, A, C, A, C. Very, excuse me, very, very cool sounding because you're actually descending as you're ascending and ascending as you're descending. It was a favorite, I'm pretty sure, of Randy Rhoads and many other, but I think he really liked it. He liked it with more particularly instead of just with the boxes of the pentatonic scale. He liked it where he would move it through the longer ones. Gives you that feeling that like you're sort of like going up, but you're falling backwards every time you take a step. It's just a cool sound. So slow, sequence 2, 1, 2. C, that's the second note. 2, second note, first note, second note. Now D becomes my second note. D, C, D, E, D, E, G, E, G, A, G, A, C, A, C, D, C, D, E, D, E, G, E, G, A, G, A, C, A, C. In reverse, it would go second note backwards is A. So A, C, A, G, A, G, E, G, E, D, E, D, C, D, C, A, C, A, G, D, E, D, C, D, C, A, C, A. A little quicker, it will sound like this. And then backwards. Now you can hear, like, just doing it even forwards. Like, there's a million just miniature phrases in using a scale and using a sequence that you can use to develop solos, riffs. So if you leave a little bit more room in between them, you have more like melodic lines. That's not one of them that I just showed you, but that's another sequence. But anyway, you kind of get the idea. So I hope you like this lesson. I hope you try it. You know, just make up a simple like an A backing track to practice it with, like something like, let's see. Make sure you stop.